They believe it's rituals and Masonic hand symbols and stuff like that that can somehow convince this European to get up off you. And it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. If you go look at the real pharaohs back in Egypt, they fought wars. Nubia fought Kemet. This is a reality. Nubia versus Egypt. Those pharaohs was in and out of positions. You understand what I'm making? They had children, marriage issues, families, all of deities that they claim are deities were human beings that had real situations. And you think that somehow you're going to call on them deities that had real situations to get you out of your real ones?
And follow them.
At some level, the man, you got to deal with your real situations. Just like they had to deal with theirs. Osiris had his stem, was castrated. Osiris has his shit cut off. And now you praying to him? Do you understand the point I'm making? You better block your shit. You hear the point that I'm making? Listen now. They praying to a deity that his brother, which was the first Cain and Abel story, cut his shit off. Tricked him to get into a casket. You know what I'm saying? Castrated that man. And now we're going to pray, Osiris, Neter, Osiris, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not disrespecting Kemetic religion. I'm just saying, at some point, a man has to be a man. And has to deal with the realities of being that type of physical being on earth. You can get as spiritual as you want to, but at the end of the day, when your enemies come for you, be ready to fight. You understand what I'm making? It's a reality.
Yeah.
You can't pray your way out of it.
All the spirituality.
Dr. Martin Luther King couldn't pray his way out of bricks getting tossed at his head. Very spiritual man. Do you understand what I'm making? If Gandhi had fasted one more day, his ass would have died. You understand what I'm making? Even Gandhi. Fast. He's still a human being. Keep fasting if you want to, Gandhi. He was already shriveling up. As spiritual as you get, you're going to be human as long as you're on earth. You get too spiritual, you're going to go to the spiritual world. I didn't come to earth to go to the spiritual world. I came to earth to have some heaven on earth and to help create heaven in the lives of other people. I said, you know what, I'll get the most spiritual when I die. I'm going to be real spiritual then. Right now I'm on earth. I'm going to be earthly because I'm here.
You explain.
But what's going to happen after you die? I'm going to be very, very, very spiritual. You know what I'm making? After I die, I'm going to be a very, very spiritual person.
Can you touch on what you meant just in that stance? What is heaven?
Well, heaven is in the scriptures. It said right. It says, without a vision, people perish. Heaven is what is inside of you to create a divine reality on earth. Heaven is manifesting that on this plane. You understand? Just like I'll give you an example. In Buddhism, and they teach Nam-myoho Renge-kyo in the chant. And the way that Nichiren Daishonin Buddhists teach is that you're chanting for what you desire. You're chanting to create heaven, which is harmony. You're chanting, it says if you want certain things, chant for them. So they're showing you the reality of producing heaven for yourself while you live on earth. You see the point that I'm making? You're chanting to invoke and manifest things. Because, and I used to go down and I used to chant. I used to sit there and chant, Nam-myoho Renge-kyo. And then one time, the dude, you know how they sit next to you and show you how to hold your beads and stuff like that? He came next to me, he said, you know what? You're not chanting with purpose. He said, you're religious about this. This is not a religion. This is for you to become God. You're supposed to become a Buddha. I said, well, wait a minute. He said, you have no desire. You have nothing backing your chanting. And I'm like, this is deep. And he said, that's your problem. And he was right. He said, you need courage and bravery to accept the things that you want to create. You know what they are. He said, we ain't even going into that. He said, you remember what they are. Chant with that. Chant, let chant with that. That's all I need to hear at that time. So my point is that if you're not living to create your vision as a God to manifest the reality that you want to create on earth, you're not even alive. You're not even conscious. Some people are looking so much for spirituality that they are deaf, dumb, and blind to the knowledge of themselves. They're looking for some great mysticism that's going to answer all the questions for you, and the question is whether you want. That's the question. But they looking for some of them ain't even looking for the question. I mean, they're not even looking for the answer. They're looking for the right question to ask. Let me open up the Torah. What should I want? What did Moses want? What did Aaron want? What did Abraham want? What did Prophet Muhammad want? And the universe is asking you, what do you want? Where are you going? What are you going to do today? And if you don't own that, you have never showed up on earth. You've never even existed.
Exactly.
You have never been here until you know what it is that you desire. Because all this shit has been here. You can wander around in it, but it doesn't become something till man adds his desire to it. Mud clay becomes bricks because man desired to build it. Do you understand what I'm making? Bamboo trees become houses. Leaves become tents and clothes and cotton and stuff like that. Why? Because man's desire. So none of this shit on the material world has any purpose outside of man's conscious desire and will to create. Do you understand the point I'm making?
You make that very clear, and I like that.
And that has to be realized. But some people are trying to get so spiritual that they have not become conscious of themselves. And the people that they're looking to as spiritual symbols wanted something. That's why they wrote the books. They wanted to write the books so that you can read them now. They wanted to build the churches, the synagogues, the mosque. And these people walk around trying to find out what they want. What's a desire? You see the point I'm making? What is this all about? I want to get spiritual. I want to have all these spiritual powers. So what? Drink a cup of water? Make a cup of Kool-Aid? What? You're going to get so spiritual to do what? Can you eat in a spiritual manner, or can you just chew your food? What can you do with spirituality that is so mystical that does not apply to your physical reality? Y'all hear the point I'm making? And this is what people get lost at. I want the secret word. The secret word to what? What you going to do with the secret word? I just know it. Come on, man. I want to know the secret behind all this and all the secrets and uncover and unwrap, and I know Yahweh's name. For what? So I can call her? For what? You see the point I'm making? When you get through doing all of that, you're going to need to create a physical heaven for yourself on earth. One that is in alignment with what you see as divinity. When you get through all your chanting, even Prabhupada, he chanted Krishna, right? He said all you got to do is chant Krishna and be happy. Chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. All you got to do is chant that. When he got through chanting, he built gold Hindu palaces in America, didn't he? He wanted all the best tasting vegetarian food. We went to one of their gatherings, and we tried over 100 dishes. And there was probably 400 or 500 of them to try. I mean, they had just little tastes of spices, of different combinations. Tell them about it, man. Of different combinations of foods to just try. But he was so spiritual. But he wasn't too spiritual to create heaven on earth. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't too spiritual to manifest these elaborate temples and make all these books with all these elaborate depictions of Krishna and spiritual in Hindu culture and, Hindu mythology. He wasn't so spiritual that he did not manifest the physical reality of his spiritual consciousness. Do you see what I'm saying? The real product, the real proof of spiritual consciousness is physical development. Do you understand what I'm making? That is the real product of spiritual consciousness. Whether that development is how you affect the consciousness of a larger people, or the monuments that you build, the books that you write, the establishments that you set up, the true product of spiritual development is physical manifestation. You say, well, you are just developed in this art, in this martial art. Why? Because you can put a brick on top of his head and hit him on the head with a hammer and he don't affect it. You can hit him with baseball bats, he don't even feel it. He can tie his body up like a pretzel at any moment will. You know his spiritual development because of his physical development. They don't just sit there and say, well, just see my chi.
Well,
they show you that they have developed the chi by what they can withstand in the material universe. Our people have got so spiritual that our spirituality has nothing to do with our physical reality. Okay. We sit in church 12 hours a day, and all we can do, and we don't even remember what the pastor said. We don't even remember what the sermon was about. If the pastor say turn to Matthews, you people struggling. Matthews? You've been going to church for 30 years and it takes you